blue leg is forward, it's angled down, and it's also angled forward, rotated forward. And then when the green leg is forward, it's the opposite. And so you can see that it rotates quite a lot from the hips, and it's a very important part of getting a good walk cycle is getting this hip rotation working. So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to switch off the auto key, and I'm going to slightly rotate the hips forward a little bit. And by switching off the auto key means I'm not actually animating that, and it's actually going to maintain that curve. It's going to maintain that rotation. Switch the auto key back on, go to 24, and when the blue leg is forward, we have to rotate forward, probably about here, and we also have to rotate down like this. So we're going forward and down when the blue leg is forward. Probably not too much. That's a little bit extreme, that rotation. I'm just going to bring it back slightly. Probably about there is fine. We grab the frame 24 keyframe, hold shift and drag it back to frame 0 so that they match. Now at 12, we're going to try to get the exact opposite rotation. So I'm just going to rotate back this way, and I'm also going to rotate down this way. So we should be looking at nice balance of 0 and 12 as being opposite of one another, and then back to 24. And if we jog between the two, we shouldn't see any difference. There's a bit of difference in the leg only because we jumped to that prematurely, but you'll see that the hips are fine. Now, the hips only need 2 sets of keyframes, 0, 12, and 24. So they don't need 6s, 3s, and what we have to aim for is to try to do as few keyframes as possible. That will always give you a smoother motion. So that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now we can move to the feet, and the feet are to be animated every 3rd keyframe. So now I can actually position these feet. If you had have tried to position the feet before you did the hips, this angle of the leg would not have matched. Because the hips have a very big bearing on the location of the pivot points of these hip joints, and without the hip rotation you just simply won't get this angle here. I'm going to grab the green, move it back, and like before I like to get the angle right on the foot and then position it, which is about here, and then I'll grab the toe and rotate that up, probably about there, and then fine tune the foot just to put that foot roll on the ground. That looks pretty good. Be very careful not to lock the leg like this, because you will get very unwanted jiggle in the animation. That looks pretty good. And we can grab both feet controllers